Welcome back to the bench and the bleachers. As always, I'm your host, Keenan Trigascus, joined by my co-host, Alex Tanaka. It is Wednesday night. We are 2 days away from World Series baseball. We had one really good LCS and one, well, I won't say dominant. It was the worst offensive performance by the Brewers that they could have done.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers, who I thought actually had a really good chance to win that series.
I think we both kind of
They
did.
put up almost zero fight. It was like a completely different team than the regular season Brewers. They could not hit the Dodgers starters. The Dodgers starters absolutely dominated Milwaukee. Like all four of them were rolling. Like they didn't even really need to go to their bullpen that much. And when they did, Milwaukee had a decent chance, but they couldn't knock the starters out of the games early. Blake Snell looked like he belongs in the Scooble, Skeens discussions. He looked great. Otani had the historic performance where he struck out 10 and hit 3 homers. I mean,
And then Yamamoto.
Yamamoto's in there too. Like he's really good. Like, and we didn't even talk about Tyler Glass now. Like all four of they are the four horsemen of death if you are the other team, because all four of those guys are going to be rolling at you on complete rest. So if you're the Jays and you're a starting pitcher, you need to absolutely bring it and try and outduel or at least keep it close with the other guy on the mound. You have to knock these guys out early and dig into the depth of the Dodger bullpen.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, before we get into the Blue Jays series, that's what they've been doing all playoffs. They don't strike out a lot. They knock the
Yes.
starting pitcher out early most often. Seattle had a couple of good games, but you'd expect that from the Mariners staff. They're not going to roll the Blue Jays offense like they did Milwaukee. It's not
No,
happening.
because I think the Jays offense is more built for success, even
It is.
though um like the Dodger rotation's built heavily on K per nine. Like they strike out a lot of hitters. Even the bullpen's very heavy K per nine, which makes sense for the bullpen. But I am really interested to see like Tyler Glasnow's like a 10 K per nine guy. Yamamoto's around there. Snell I think is around there too. Like they're all high strikeout pitchers. Shohei Ohtani's got a great K per nine, like maybe up to like 11. So it's going to be a really interesting thing against a team that never strikes out versus a team that strikes everybody out.
Yeah.
So
It might
that's going to be a
be.
really interesting side of this is can the Blue Jays scrape together good at bats, get base runners on, and chip away and crack the Dodger armor?
We might be seeing a lot of those grindy Blue Jays at bats that we're used to 10, 12 pitches, fouling a lot of them off, waiting for a slider to hang, a curveball to not break. That's what the Blue Jays are
Especially at
going
the
to do.
bottom of the order, which is where they've been getting a lot of production from, which is not where the Dodgers. Like if you look at the NL, I think a lot of the National League teams are built a little bit top heavy, or at least the teams that the Dodgers ran into in the
I
postseason.
think everyone other than Toronto is really top heavy.
Yeah, well, but think about San Diego. It's the ultimate. Like San Diego and Philadelphia are incredibly top heavy.
Very
Milwaukee
top
was
heavy.
supposed to be balanced. Milwaukee just they were balanced. They all fucking sucked. Like Milwaukee just like Milwaukee. It's not that they didn't bring their A game. Milwaukee brought like their C game. It was really embarrassing for them to
Yeah,
watch.
it was.
No, it was really embarrassing. It was
I
like
think it was what, one run each game that they scored?
yeah, it was something really pathetic like that. But the
It
Jays
was
bats have
awful.
been hot, and I saw an interesting stat where it was like going into a World Series. The teams that have played 7 games are 3-0 versus teams that have had a sweep,
Yeah,
which I
I
guess
did see
plays
that.
the theory of like because the Dodgers have been off for what about a week now, or it'll be a week when the series starts. So yes, they're well rested, but they're also cold. Whereas the Jays have just been through this war, but they're also going to be really well rested. So I am really curious to see how the first 2 games are going to go to see if the Jays can knock out. I think it's Snell and Yamamoto have been announced. So how they hit off of Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto are going to be really interesting. The other thing, and, and this would have been a problem for Seattle as well, is the Dodgers kill right-handed pitching. Like they feast on right-handed pitching, and guess what? That's all the Jays have is
Yeah,
righties.
yeah.
Like I don't know if they want to throw Brandon Little. Fluharty was
You
all
don't
right.
know if they
Yeah,
want.
I know. Well, I'm being nice.
There should be more confidence that he's not going out.
Yeah, Brandon Little. No, I'm okay.
He's worked his way up. He shouldn't have been in a high leverage situation in the playoffs,
Yeah, that
but
Yeah, he's
That's
been a high
hilarious.
leverage guy throughout the year, or especially at the start of the year, he was the high
He
leverage
was
guy.
the eighth inning man.
Yeah, and he got overworked. He got overworked a lot, but
He did, and then got figured out.
yeah, you just need to take pitches because it's nasty, but it never lands in the zone. Like it's complete
you
filth.
got to wait for him to throw you that fastball, which is very flat.
Yeah. But the other thing that I'm pretty confident in is that the Blue Jays are a very good fastball hitting team. Like they
They're
made
just a very good hitting team.
yeah, they are, but they've made mincemeat of like George Kirby is maybe the best fastball starter because all he does is throw fastballs, and the Jays tore him apart.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
slowing it.
shockingly,
Hey,
shockingly, Bryce Miller, who was the most
Bryce
injury-riddled,
Miller
worst
changed up
Mariner
the game.
pitcher,
He
was
had
the
an
best for the
amazing
Mariners.
performance. He was brilliant. Like
He was insanely good.
he was like in the
The
flow state. He was just so hard to watch. But he was great. So I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting. The other good storyline is Don Mattingly finally getting to a World Series.
shockingly, you would
Yeah,
have assumed, with all the years he spent in New York and L.A., he'd
yeah,
at
that
least been to
would have
one.
happened, right? But success just kind of eluded him. But it's a great story for him to get a chance to compete in a World Series. But I don't know who are you more disappointed for, the Brewers or the Mariners? For
Mariners, because
losing,
this was
yeah.
the closest they've ever been.
Yeah,
Like,
and they had
also,
really high
I can't even be
expectations.
disappointed for the Brewers. They did that to themselves. That was awful. The Mariners
The Mariners
were
played
nine
very
outs
well. The
away.
Mariners played really, really
The
well.
Mariners were winning going into the seventh inning. Like, there's more disappointment there, like choking that so late, than there is having like the worst offensive performance you could have had.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because the Brewers just didn't play well,
No,
but the
the
Mariners,
pitching was okay at times, but
yeah, they pitched okay,
You
but
knew
the
the
hitting was
Dodgers were gonna hit
so
them
bad.
eventually.
No, the hitting was just horrible though. Like that was
You weren't beating the Dodgers like you can an NL Central team. You
no, the
weren't just gonna
Dodgers. You
outpitch
have
them.
to be able to win 8-7, but also win 3-2,
Yeah,
and
you
they
had
could
your
not win those
chances.
games. Like
Yeah, it was
they
just
no,
bad.
it was just embarrassing. That's the only way to say it. It was a really embarrassing
And
performance.
we've got this listed for later in the episode, but ownership's immediate reaction is to listen to trades offers for Freddie Peralta,
Yeah,
not go
yeah,
out there and say we should
no,
buy an impact bat.
yeah. It's see, this is what's ruining baseball.
It
Is
is.
a team that goes to the league championship series and is now listening to offers on their ace instead of thinking, "Hey, our offense sucked and was bad and was lacking depth. Yelich is getting older. We need to supplement Shuria with other hitters. Like, there's going to be a couple coming over this offseason. Like, I don't know. I don't and like if he goes to the Dodgers, do you blame the Dodgers for trying to acquire Freddie Peralta? No, he's an ace. He's a stud. Who wouldn't want Freddie Peralta on their team? Like if you just made the final four and you're looking to sell, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand.
No, especially they're they're not spending that much money. They've cut payroll each of the past few years, and they've gotten better. So I don't know why you don't think, hey, we've gotten better on a limited budget. We've still got a good farm system. Let's add just a little bit to bridge to the farm system. And you can keep that small market mentality. You can bring in players on short-term deals while Jesus made cooks in the minor leagues.
The whole thing with this like chopping and changing every single year of like playing like kind of like roulette almost, where you're just throwing out a bunch more guys who your models identify as really good players who you believe you can develop, is the end goal should still be to win the World Series. And when you have a good chance to win a World Series, you need to go for it. Otherwise, what are you playing for?
There is at least 10 teams who aren't playing for the World Series.
That's a pretty low
Just
number. Yeah, that's a pretty bad number.
It's
It,
a
it,
pretty bad number.
wide like there's 10 teams that will not compete for World Series the next 5 years.
Yeah, under their ownership, really.
Yeah. I saw this. I forget the guy's name. I wish I bookmarked the tweet. He's this Pittsburgh Pirates beat reporter, just glazing Bob Nutting like it's not his fault he can't compete. No, it is his fault. No, it is his fault.
It's
Yeah,
not the billionaire's fault.
no, it's not. It's not the guy who pays the players' fault, right? It's not his fault. Like whose fault is it? It's not. Like, I'm tired of the mentality of blaming the teams who fork out the money for the stars. I'm tired about
Unless
that. Because you know what? You know what? You can say whatever you want about the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Nets, but they are trying to win a World Series. They are trying to win, which is more than some other ownership groups can say.
you can't defend Bob Nutting. He's not out here getting outbid by the Dodgers and the Yankees and any of these bigger market teams on players. He's not bidding on anything.
No. He's
He's
just
not
chilling.
lifting. He's not opening the checkbook. The last multi-year free agent signing was Ivan Nova.
That was a while ago. Hey, Ivan
That's
Nova.
like a decade
Holy
ago.
fuck. Yankee legend Ivan Nova. Or Ivan
Yeah,
Nova, they call him.
Ivan, sorry.
Yeah, he's not fucking Russian. Definitely not Russian. Um, yeah, it's just embarrassing stuff, and this Skeens thing is a test for him because he needs to just here's what you do. You take a blank check and you say, "Here, Paul, here you go. Write in the number." Okay, cool, and you walk away.
And Paul's not going to. He's not going to do too much. He's been very adamant on wanting to win in Pittsburgh, wanting to bring playoffs to Pittsburgh. If you
That
give him a
makes one of
blank
them.
check, he's probably going 10 years, 300 mil.
Yet you could sign him for that right now.
You could. You
It'd be the
you
easiest. 29 other teams already would have.
yeah, you lose to yourselves by waiting on these players.
What have
Look
we
at how
learned?
Atlanta won their
What
ring.
have we learned?
Look at how Houston won their ring.
Like, seriously, look at all these contracts across baseball. What are all the top teams? What are all the teams that you and I agree are being run well doing?
They
They're
buy low.
they're, they're investing in their young guys like a year or two in. You see it across hockey now as well. Like, it just makes sense.
Like there's a
It's
difference
infuriating.
between
It's infuriating.
it's very infuriating because like, Paul Skeens could be signed. A lot of like, Ellie De La Cruz could be signed with Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz, he has the most potential to like really cost you money. Like you could really lose out on Ellie De La Cruz if he
If he goes, if there's another bat around him, he's immediately better. But if he goes to any competent organization, he's an MVP caliber player.
1000% agree. Because I think he can grow into that in Cincinnati with Terry Francona.
He can, but they gotta sign him.
You need to fork up the money, and for De La Cruz, you almost want to give him like 400 million.
You really do. And
He's
these
just so
owners,
talented.
these owners are the real reason that there's going to be a lockout in 2027.
This is what's ruining baseball. Like, I'm sick and tired of blaming the teams who want to win.
When you're putting 30% of your revenue into payroll, that's why you're not winning games. That's why you're not getting better. Like
It's
you can't.
no,
You're
it's
not pushing
ridiculous.
the budget and going, well, we're getting outbid. You're sitting on your hands and trading away your ace.
Yeah. No, it's embarrassing, but a team, and I want to provide a silver lining because I'm the optimism guy normally here.
Sometimes.
The Seattle Mariners are in a great spot right now. Like a team that you and I have criticized the way they've been run, they're set up for like 5 to 7 years of like, holy fuck, these guys are the American League favorites.
They're up there. But they will have this is probably a 1-2 year problem with the prospect pool they have. That they could have some offensive lapses because Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez are free agents. I think Naylor wants to stay. He's always
Taylor
wearing
makes a
Seattle
lot
merch.
of sense for them to stay.
He played really well.
He was maybe their
Let,
best hitter in the playoffs.
let Gino go because that did not work again.
Didn't
But
work again is the key word.
yeah, you got Naylor. You got to give him an extension. He was a great piece to that offense, and then you just got to build around those young guys.
Yeah, because a lot of their top prospects are going to be graduating soon. They still have an amazing staff. They still have a great bullpen. No one tell Dan Wilson that he's still not going to use them. But
Dan Wilson, he
hold the old Buck Showalter. Let me not use my best reliever in the biggest spot.
yeah, that was bad. Also, never made lineup changes for the bottom of the bottom three was like 1 for 30, and he just rolled out.
Yeah,
for
they
them.
could not. I mean, it was so much of a relief. Imagine how a Mariners pitcher felt getting to the Jays bottom three compared to a Jays pitcher into the Mariners bottom three.
Big
Right? Like
difference.
huge difference.
Free
Huge
innings
difference.
versus Springer might get up.
Yeah, and like the Jays' bottom hitters can at least still have very good professional at bats.
Yeah, Jimenez, the power shockingly came back. IKF hit the ball hard, and Barger was seventh, I think, for most of the
Yeah,
games.
Barger was hitting seventh. Clement was six, and Varsha was five. And Addison Barger, if he's in the seventh spot, the rest of the offense is doing very well.
Yeah,
Like, because he's a
yeah.
scary guy with how violent the swing is. So, I think if you're Seattle, like, yeah, you're upset, but you got to feel like you're in a good spot to at least run it back next year.
100%.
Because what if like Julio Rodriguez wakes up and is like, I'm still really good.
He was really good in the playoffs too until
Yeah,
that last at bat,
yeah,
which was those were the I'm going to tie it swings.
yeah. And on pitches in the other batter's box, can't do that.
You gotta. It wasn't a team at bat. It was a I'm
It was
going
a
to
me
tie
thing.
it.
It was a very me
It
thing.
was. But Julio, the bat was hot in the last few months of the year, and it was really good in October.
Yeah, once there was a bit more protection in the lineup, he started hitting a lot.
That was exactly when it happened, and there was decent protection to begin with. Polanco was really good, and everyone knew what Raleigh was doing.
Yeah.
There wasn't really an excuse for his 3 month
No,
slump.
but he did improve.
He did. He did. If he has a competent first 3 months, that guy's an MVP caliber player.
Yeah, because he always turns it on the second half. It feels
He
like
does always turn it on. Let's do a little World Series predictions here, though.
Jays in six. Simple
Jason six.
as.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Wow, look at us aligned here.
Yeah. I like the way this offense is lined up.
They
The
match up really
pitching,
well with LA's staff. Like even though LA's pitching staff is good, I talked about earlier the K-9 stuff because if the ball if the ball's being put in play, LA's not a great team. They're really good at striking you out and hitting the long ball a little bit. Not as much on the long ball on offense, but very much reducing it and striking you out on defense.
yeah. And I'm not too worried about the Blue Jays striking out a lot. The Mariners had struck out, I think, 8 batters almost every game in the regular season. They didn't do it once against the Blue Jays in the LCS.
Yeah, the Jays are able to have really good professional at bats off of anybody. The one thing
They
that's
this
concerning is the Jays don't have a lefty, and the
Yeah,
Dodgers like tear up. Like that offense is really, really good at battering right-handed pitching. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Jays cope with that. But if Bo Bichette is healthy and can make an impact, maybe playing second base, not shortstop, I'll be really intrigued to see how it goes.
yeah. We might see some very high scoring games here, especially if the Blue Jays do get into the bullpen early. If you're getting Tanner Scott's gone, I don't think he's coming back. If Blake Trinan's out there, any of their Kirby Yates, even if you're getting to him, you're getting runs. Roki Sasaki, he had one bad inning. Other than that, he's been really good this playoffs.
Yeah,
If you're giving him just the ninth inning, that might be a problem for the Blue Jays.
yeah.
But there's no way that the Dodgers starting pitching is regularly going 8 innings in the World Series.
No, absolutely. And you're really gonna have to. Sasaki's a big challenge, but you're really gonna have to chip away at him. Like
Yeah.
you're really because the entire staff has been really good for the Dodgers. So you have to really, really, really dig into these guys. Like
This is the one offense that's built for that, too.
yeah, you cannot let it just go Vesia and then Sasaki. You've got
This
it.
series is going to come down who pitches better. We know these offenses are going to hit well. If
Yeah.
the Dodgers strikeouts are going, the Dodgers are winning that series. If the Blue Jays bullpen is competent, they're probably winning the series.
Yeah, it's going to come down to what it always comes down to: depth and bullpen. If your offensive depth comes
That's
through and your
yeah.
bullpen does,
Late
then you're probably
October.
going to win.
That's what matters.
Yeah, that's the stuff that like really counts. So, I just think the Jays are so well positioned offensively to exploit that LA weakness of not really a deep bullpen. That's a bullpen that's been very untested, and when they have been tested, they've folded. So, I really like the Jays' chances.
I do too. I think this is going to be a very fun World Series.
I would agree with that.
As
I
it
think it's
should
going to
be.
be, especially as Canadians, it's going to be a really fun series.
Oh yeah, we haven't been able to see this ever.
No, but it's going to be a great series.
100%. Now, there's a bit of actual news we got to get to now. A couple of head coach, manager signings. Giants bringing in Tony Vitello from Tennessee.
Really
Vitello,
puzzling move there. Really, Really weird move from me.
You know, I kind of like it in the sense that you are finally trying to change the culture. It's not some turnover guy who's been around the league 10 times. It's a guy from college.
Yeah, let's bring in a guy
Maybe
the
he.
players won't respect who's going to be Buster Posey's little butt puppet. Well, that's what it is. The guy has absolutely zero experience
Yeah, that's the
in
only
professional
problem
baseball.
is that there is no experience.
And
But
Posey has clearly hired him because he can control him.
well, he also hired him because Vitello came to him saying, "I'm the guy who's going to beat the Dodgers," which is not going to be the case right away. This needs to be a let him learn hire. You cannot have a short leash on a guy when it's his first opportunity. But are the Giants really in that spot that they can let a guy
That
go?
was what I was going to say. They're such an old team. Why
Yeah,
are you bringing in a guy who's never worked with kids over the age of 24 to now manage one of the oldest rosters in baseball?
and
That
manage
doesn't make a lot of
Devers,
sense to me.
who clearly may have
Yeah,
been
and
a
manage
problem for the Giants.
Devers, who's an emotional lunatic who will not do anything you tell him to. They have an old, the entire team's old, experienced, broken down, and inconsistent. And we're going to hire a rah-rah college guy to come in and fire him. I've just seen this movie too many times. He's going to be fired after like 100 games.
It very well. It's one of those things. It's either fired after 100 games or he's there for 10 years, and it's very likely the first one.
I just don't see this working.
Okay,
It just
I
feels like, yeah, you want to change the culture, but just because you bring in a guy who's going to try and change the culture doesn't mean it's going to get changed in a positive way.
well, the problem with them and trying to change the culture, they don't have a farm system. They haven't had a farm system for a long time.
They haven't had a farm system for a decade, Keenan.
They
More
haven't
than
had
a
a farm
decade.
system since they were World Series winners.
Yeah, they've just been sell, 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 sell,
Not
sell.
even really sell. Like, do they? They don't really sell.
Well, they sell. Well, it's not selling. It's just selling off the prospects to bring in established pros and just not really
Yeah,
extending anybody, not investing a lot in players in the draft, and just signing free agents, which is a fine way to build a team, but they're old and it shows.
there's no direction. But what can you do? Another team with no direction, the Angels have hired Kurt Suzuki on a 1 year contract as a manager after they told Torrey Hunter and Albert Pujols they were no longer in the running. Don't hate the hiring. It's the 1 year that's a little baffling that you pointed out.
Have you seen the movie Moneyball?
No.
Great rage bait, Keenan. You're phenomenal. You're hilarious. Everybody, not for Keenan. He's funny. We all love Keenan's joke. Um. Anyways, there's a really interesting scene that gets lost in the shuffle of all the analytic stuff. Is when Art House says, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. He goes, "Yeah, 1 year contract means the same to a manager as it does to a player, which means no confidence in your ability. Like it means not very confident." So I don't know. I don't understand from Kurt Suzuki's perspective, as a guy who's been involved in the front office there, why he's going down from that to manage the team under a 1 year contract.
Yeah, the only
It
the
doesn't
only
make
thing
sense
that
why you would hire a guy as your manager and only give him a 1 year contract. It's not like,
especially someone from internal too.
yeah,
Normally
it's
there's a little more trust there. Like you're not bringing in some.
I do not understand this from anybody's perspective because we're hiring a guy on a 1 year contract who wasn't has never been a manager before. He's been with the organization, but just the 1 year contract ruins it for me. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And this is an organization that's juggled head coaches a lot recently. You'd want with the
You want
situation that
stability.
they're in.
You want stability and credibility.
Yeah, exactly. You want stability. You either want a tank commander or someone who can get you out of the trenches. Not a 1 year deal and then you have to rebuild the culture again. You have to find someone who can work with the revolving door of rookies and pitching that is the Anaheim Angels. You need some stability and you need some direction, but there isn't any direction at any level of this organization.
And this is a team where I think you need an experienced manager who's okay to commit to a rebuild. Not a guy who on his first time managing is going to get a 1 year contract. That's ridiculous.
This the organization's a mess. Did you see what Kikuchi had to say about them?
Yeah, with like the AC was fucked all year and they didn't fix it.
Yeah, in Anaheim.
Yeah, Uh, guys. Yeah, if you're in California and you can't get AC for your professional athletes recovering, probably means you don't give a fuck.
No wonder they were one of the worst teams after the trade deadline. It was
God,
miserable in the
I
clubhouse,
know.
probably.
Yeah, more miserable than usual. I'm guessing.
And Trout was healthy, and it was more miserable.
Yeah. Oh God.
Kazuma Okamoto will be posted this offseason coming from Japan. That goes alongside Munetaka Murakami. A couple of good bats coming out of Japan. I think Okamoto's 28, 29 years old.
29 from
29.
Yomiuri. Plays first and third. You know, Murakami probably projects as a DH in Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
but huge
We
raw
know
power.
where
Okamoto's
Murakami's
a really
going.
good hitter too, though.
Yeah, we know Murakami's going to one of the big markets.
Yeah,
Okamoto,
Okamoto though,
that's a bit of a wild card.
I kind of don't know where he's gonna go, but anybody who needs corner help, he'd be a really good addition.
Corner help, if you want to take a little risk on a corner power bat, go after Okamoto.
How do we feel about Boston?
They did do the same thing with Yoshida, but they want to get rid of Yoshida. I don't
But
know if they're
Okamoto's better than Yoshida and his.
Yeah, I just don't know if they want to bring in another Japanese player though.
But like, does this not fit a need?
First, yeah, it
If
does.
Bregman's walking,
But they're going after Murakami first of all. That's definitely their main
Murakami
priority.
said he wants to play on the West Coast, but he likes the Yankees.
Yeah, but Boston doesn't care. They're gonna go after him.
Okamoto may be a good pivot, but Murakami, you probably don't want him in the field anyways, so he'll be an expensive DH. Maybe you can get him to play first, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could see Kansas City maybe going after him.
Fuck no.
I
Hell
feel
no.
like
You think a guy from Japan's gonna go to Kansas City?
I'm not saying he's gonna go there. I'm just saying
Oh.
they should go after him.
Maybe
That would
actually
be
San Fran may make sense too.
That's a perfect spot for a little bit of a wild card player. They like to bring those guys in.
Yeah. They like experience.
They do like experience.
So
Yeah.
those two, keep an eye out for those guys. Probably two of the biggest names on the market this offseason. Really weird to have two Japanese hitters coming over in the same year.
It's great. It's gonna be. There's a lot of free agents. A lot of good free agents. This might.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very telling offseason of where the league's heading for 2027. If it's another rich get richer, poor get poorer offseason, Tucker's a Dodger, Suarez is on the West Coast in like San Fran or
There's
something.
gonna be a lot of shuffling of power. Like in terms of like power bats.
And then those small market teams are going to use this as an excuse.
Yeah, that happens
hold the
every
league
year,
hostage.
dude. It happens every year, yeah. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be really interesting. It may be the last
I am, but
season of
I
the
also wouldn't be
salary cap.
surprised if it's the usual suspect signing players.
Something tells me it's not gonna be.
I hope no. I hope so. Especially, like,
I don't think it will be.
okay, I like that.
I think we're seeing power shift a bit.
I hope so. But one last piece of news. Tigers and Skubal reportedly $250 million apart. The only thing that this could be going off of is the last reported offer right after the 2024 season was 4 years less than $100 million. Skubal has been on air a couple of times in the regular season saying he'd accept 10 years, 300 from Detroit. Oh,
Easiest decision you have to make.
it is. He was very, very public about just give me 10 years, 300 mil, and I'm here for my career. That is a very reasonable price.
It's a discount.
It is. It's a hometown discount. Illich, not like his father, doesn't hand out the money. Like if his father's still in charge, the guy who's brought in Cabrera signed him to that huge deal, signed Verlander.
Yeah, and those were coincidentally the best years in franchise history. Or the
Yeah,
best
and you
4
wonder
years
why?
in
Because they
franchise.
dished out contracts.
Yeah, because they brought in Prince Fielder, they brought in Victor Martinez, they brought in Scherzer, they brought in Anibal Sanchez. Like they brought in dogs.
They brought in dogs, and they made it to the World Series, and this is a team that's been pretty close. They've been one game away from the ALCS each of the last 2 years. You don't let your ace go. Don't matter. It doesn't matter who's in the farm system.
But you pay whatever he says.
And give him a little more.
This is ruining baseball. The second best, maybe the best pitcher in the league is trying to take a pay cut, or not a pay cut, but not trying to
Reasonable
maximize
offer.
his value, and you still won't say yes. And then he's going to get criticized moving to a big market team who will pay him what he's worth, when his hometown team won't even pay him 85% of what he's worth. So tell me how that's ruining baseball.
Yeah. Not enough people know where the problem is with baseball, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many people who, let's say, Scuba's a free agent and Dodgers, 10 years, 500 mil. We know what the narrative is going to be. We know what everyone's going to be saying out of the 2026 season. But you can't, like, it's hard to criticize a team for winning when the Tigers have an extra year, 2 years of prime Skubal to negotiate with.
It just doesn't make sense why he wasn't signed 2 off seasons ago when everybody knew he was going to be really good, and he was like everybody's dark horse Cy Young candidate. Why you didn't just give him 8 years then?
The problem was he was always hurt.
He was always hurt, but why not for last offseason? Why not during the season?
Yeah, last offseason it should have been done.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
just
price tag probably would have been a little lower.
yeah, it just doesn't make. I just don't understand the way that the way the Tigers have played their cards here is really really bad. Because when you have a guy willing to take a little bit less and you're dragging it out, that makes you look like a punk bitch.
Yeah.
Like that's just the only. It just makes them look weak. It makes them look like and like if you're a fan, why the hell would you give these guys your money? Like they don't want to win. They're not trying to win out here. Like how does that make sense? Right? Like really, you're gonna pay for your season's tickets for these guys who won't even retain the second best pitcher in the world? Like what? Like how does that make sense to you, Keenan?
It doesn't.
Like Keenan, if you were a Tiger season ticket holder, right? And Tariq Skubal walks and signs 10 years, 350 somewhere else, why would you continue to support this organization when they won't even, keep this guy around?
They've got room to give him a pay raise. This is from the tweet that I sent you a couple of days ago.
Yeah. They could give him 10 years, 400 million, and I'd be like, that's a pretty good price, yeah.
They're putting 49% of their revenue into payroll.
Yeah. The one and only defense teams could use this offseason as a way to justify not splashing big cash is because they may be fearful of a salary cap being implemented next offseason.
Yeah, but there's only 5 teams that should really worry about that.
That's very fair. The Jays are one of them.
They are one of them. There are 7 teams above the luxury tax, so we'll say 7 teams can work.
Yeah, I know, and that makes sense. But I mean, it's not like the Tigers are in danger of going over the luxury.
No, yeah, they're not even close. But yeah, it's stupid.
It's disheartening as a fan, even an opposing fan, when some teams won't even put up a fight for their well-developed assets. It's just the complete wrong mentality to have in the industry.
Yeah, in any industry. I mean, all the other leagues have had salary caps long enough that this isn't a conversation. But could you imagine if the Oilers just went, yeah, we're not paying McDavid?
Yeah, we're not like that's ridiculous.
We're just not going to do it.
Yeah, we're not paying you. Not paying you.
We saw him take a discount.
He did take a discount. This is true.
Like the players give hometown discounts. A lot of people want to win where they were drafted or signed with.
And don't take advantage of that in the way of taking advantage of the player. Take advantage of that in signing the guy. Don't take advantage of their kindness towards your organization because that can turn sour very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pay that man his money.
Yeah, pay him his money. I got nothing else to add. You want to end it here?
Yeah, I can end it here. Jays in 6.
Jays in 6.
You heard it here first. It's just going to be Jays in 6, guys. Don't overthink this. Actually, overthink this. It's going to be Jays in 6. They match up really well. They're the anti-Dodger baseball. They're going to play really well.
There you go. You heard it here first. We'll see you guys after the World Series.